area, just not missing from long range, risking themselves.
Of course, when you hear that.
Here.
Of course, when you hear that, I definitely know it's time for your number one grassroots sports development program, Sports Drill, on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Like I used to say, the grassroots is the bedrock of any great sporting nation. And take away the grassroots is as good as not having sport in any nation. And of course, you know how we do every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. on this dial. Pensioners 106.7.
Time is up for the United States.
We look deeply into grassroots sport, grassroots stories, grassroots development, and see how we can take it to the very next level. In case you are just joining in for the very first time, I will tell you, you are in the right place to be, because we delve into history and of course look straight into the future. Today will be an exception. It promises to be another exciting time on the program today. As I have an important guest in the building, and of course we're going to look into an iconic history of a particular stadium here in Oyo State and everything that surrounds it. Let me keep you in suspense first. Well, welcome in my guest. He's a former footballer. He went to the grassroots. But now, today, he is the chairman Ibadan Football Association. Like that, he's the chairman Ibadan Football Association. Talking about no other person than Barrister Rotimi Ali. Well seated here in the studio of Pensioners 106.7 FM. Good afternoon, sir.
Raymond, good afternoon. Listeners at home, good afternoon. I'm very happy to be on this program.
You're welcome to Pensioners FM.
Thank you very much, and I commend you for the good job you are doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Before we go into every other, this is my first question. We're just trying to wrap up COVID-19 or everything. How have you been during the COVID-19? How have you coped with it?
Well, we all know that this was a global pandemic, so it is not now down to our environment. Everybody who survived it must have followed the laid down rules and regulations. I mean, being hygienic, I mean, keeping yourself from, contacting any surface or object that can get you infected. And of course, economically, we notice have been tough. But now I think we are lucky in Nigeria that our economy is not really government-driven. It's private-driven. That is why we were able to get out of it quickly. We all know that. So we thank God for His grace, and may the souls of those who have departed rest in peace.
May the souls of those who have departed rest in peace. Quickly, a little bit of introduction of my guest, Barrister Rotimi Ali, Ibadan Football Association chairman. His name, Tajuddin Oluwotimi Ali, a legal practitioner from the family of Ali Idiomo of Ojaba Ibadan.
In it goes.
So you know he hails from this state, Oyo State. And of course, precisely Ibadan. A graduate of the University of Ibadan. In his days at the university, he was a central defender for his hall, Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall. I believe you are a student.
Gets it. 3-pointer from
you know all this I'm saying. and of course the university team as well. His nickname is the Libero. So we'll go into that, or why he's been that nickname. He played for several clubs during his school days, namely NTA FC in the 1980s, UCHFC, NYC team in Osho State, and the main NYC team in Abuja, and then the professional division 2. Apparently, he's a member of the Oyo State Football Association, and of course the chairman Ibadan Football Association. He has a competition named after him at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall, University of Ibadan. He has been sponsoring the competition for over 5 years. And of course, the competition is Barrister Rotimi Ali annual Interfloor Football Competition. He's also the chairman of Ibadan Bar Association Sport Committee. Of course, he called it the former vice president Ibadan Social Group. It was in 1976. A lovely biography, lovely CV. Before I even go into Olubadan or not, the name Libero, that nickname, that one caught me first.
Okay. Well, I got.
What brought about that nickname?
I got the name in my playing days. Like I said, I used to play the central defense role for my hall, the Baluba Lions, and the Zikol team is known, and also the university team. You know, the Libero is one of the central defenders that moves to join the attack. You know, he has some liberal approach to his defensive role. That was where I was playing then. The present chief coach of Shooting Stars, Edith Agoy, was my playmate then, and quite a number of people who I played football with in those days, growing up in Ibadan. So it was fun. That was how the name came about. Then I was a little bit on the top side. I was an aggressive defender. So, I mean, anybody who had then would testify to that. But we had fun then those days.
An aggressive defender. And also moving forward as well, a competition named after you at Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall. You must have been, your impact, for somebody to be named, a competition to be named after someone, definitely. There must be a great impact.
Well, in my days at Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall, at the point I was the Hall Sports Commissioner, and during that time I played my role. Of course, I started playing for the Hall team from my 100 level in my year one, and I played throughout my stay there. And my final year, I captained the team. I remember that my last 3 years, we won everything in University of Ibadan. Even I remember, I think my third year, we played a competition without conceding a goal. And of course, I was pairing with a good friend of mine, Adedeji Babalola. He's now the Ministry of Information of Oyo State. And I have a good friend, Shegun Adeosun. He's in UK, now a football scout. Platini, we call him then. We have a lot of good guys who went to play football. And some went to other things just like me. It was fun. So apparently the generation that came after us read some of the things, and of course I've been supporting the hall, no doubt in my little way. I mean the young ones, and maybe they look into all this and felt that okay, this man has been good to us, either as a student, even as an alumni. Of course I've won the alumni of the year I think twice. So and when they came up with the idea of naming competition after me, I was flattered, and of course I accept the responsibility to pick up the bill every year. And every year I go back for the finals. It's always been fun. The students have, things are not the way they were when we were there.
Definitely.
In fact, now I don't even think there is an inter-hall competition in the rest of the game like those days. So I feel honored. I really feel honored.
Okay. About his voice, Barrister Rotimi Ali, Ibadan Football Association Chairman, IFA Chairman, for sure. Of course, moving forward now, looking at, let me start from here. Growing up, how your journey into sports?
Well, you see, I went to Loyola College, Ibadan.
Okay.
In those days, when you talk about football, when you still have Principal Cup, which of course is not even available again.
Yes.
You talk about Ibadan Grammar School, St. Patrick's, Loyola College, all of the Methodists and the one on the Express. So you can't go to Loyola College and just find yourself not doing anything. You have to.
We have something in common.
Okay, Loyola too. Can you see that? Off school. That was why I really say my interest and passion in football developed. I had a very good experience there playing for the school team at a very young age, all through my stay there. And of course, that's manifested into a greater form by the time I got to university. Even I remember 1987 when I said I played for NTA. I was just like 16. It wasn't as if I was 16 with some of my friends. Ayo Longi is now in US. He attended international school. You are Deji Babalola, my very good friend and soulmate for decades. Two of us play for, and then we just found ourselves playing for the NTA team. Then we had Mr. Tayo Balogun as a sports editor and Mr. Feyi Ogundele. They were the one coordinating the team. And at a very young age, we were playing for the team, just fresh from secondary school. We were even, I think we just finished writing our WAEC. We went to their screening and they were interested, and then we got into the team. We played for that team for like a year before we got admitted to various schools. So the passion started from there. So by the time I got to UI, unfortunately, I found myself with hand on a very good man too, Dr. Salami, who is now the head, the chairman, University of Ibadan Sports Council, was the football coach there. You know, he nurtured us, all of us, quite a number of players who passed through him. I mean, had something good to say about him. So, and Nnamdi Azikiwe was, I remember we played a friendly match against me in the national team then.
Wow.
And Hall, I'm not talking about the school team, the Hall against the under-17 team then. The match ended 0-0. I mean, inside the university, that shows how strong the team was then. So that was my journey. I know I'm an Ibadan man. I didn't grow up in Pujidi. I grew up in Oje, you know, where all you do is after school you go to play all the what you call street football.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, we play this set all over from morning to night, every Saturday, Sunday. So I had nothing doing after academics than football. And I'm grateful for football. Maybe that took me off the streets. So all my attention was on football and then academics. So that would be my journey.
Okay, well, you were playing football at the same time you were looking at becoming a barrister. Did you at any point in time you are in a valley of decision? Which one do you go for? Should I drop school for football? Should I just stick with school, leave football? I mean, those decisions at the point come.
Yeah, you are right. I found myself in that position. I would say significantly on about 2 occasions. You know, when the first one, I think when I was in my 400th year in university, I was a law student. A lot of people in University of Ibadan didn't know I was studying law because they couldn't. I mean, they couldn't believe that this guy is doing law. A lot of people thought I was doing physical and health education. you know, playing for the school team and playing for the hall. You know, we go to train in the morning, in the evening. You know, but I find law very convenient. I was just law. I mean, it suited my purpose because I had the interest and passion. I was able to control. I didn't have a single carryover all my university years. You know, so at some points I remember I got maybe a link outside the country then. So it was when you used to have this long ASU strike there.
Okay.
I was preparing to maybe consider just about 2 weeks before I could move the ASU call of their strike.
Wow.
So I lost that. Again in my law school days, I was in law school in Victoria Island. I got shortlisted maybe to attend the World University Games. So I was highly interested. Well, I would have been the icing on the cake, you know, to represent Nigeria at the FISU World. That's what we used to call it then. Or then when I thought second time in law school, you know, law school was a year program, very loaded. So unfortunately, like once again, I have a good friend, Deji Babalola. He was like, "Come, Mr. Man, you know what took you to get to this stage? If you go to FISU, it's not as if you are going to sign for a team or you have ready-made. You are going to lose a whole year in law school. Why don't you just finish this thing? If you are ordained to take to football after, you still have opportunity." Some of my friends in law school then asked me, they talked me out of it, and then that was it.
Let it
go. I let it go. So I took law, and that's it again my NYC year. I served in Osun. I was the best footballer in camp. I was playing for the Osun team, and then I was seconded to the main team, Abuja. NYC, to play in the Pro Division 2 as it was then. So I was meant to sign for like 2 years to play, and after 2-3 months, I just woke up one day. I felt that I was not feeling. I don't have sense of fulfillment. Waking up, you know, I've been camp at the NYC orientation camp at I think Cuba. So that was where we were there. You know, that's waking up in the morning. In fact, I think the turning event was a day. We went to train at the old parade ground. That's why I used to train. As we were leaving the old parade ground, I just saw some of my comrades coming from Cordova P. So some of them just saw me, you know, in this dirty football kit. I was like, they were asking me, "Rotimi Kilo share?"
What are you doing?
And they couldn't fathom that this guy is a lawyer now. What are you doing? You know? And we were looking for bottled water or even sachet water to drink after training.
Yeah.
So I felt embarrassed, you know, that Some of them felt that maybe this guy failed at the law school. What happened, So by the time we got back to the camp that day, I just went to Coach Rotimi. I want to leave. He couldn't find out. Come, what is the problem? I just have to compromise him some financial gains to return back to Shogbo, where I joined the farm of Eswa Abolade and Co. And I think that was just it. At that day, I knew it was law.
Okay, if you want to be part of this, definitely Pensioners FM on Facebook. Pensioners FM on Facebook. You'll be watching us live. Or you can listen via our website, www.pensionersfm1067.com. www.pensionersfm1067.com, and you'll be listening live. And looking back quickly, have you ever sat down one day and feel like, I should have played football? Why? Did you ever feel that kind of a bit regret, like, if I had tried a bit, maybe, you know, all those feelings comes on board sometimes.
You see, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. I believe whatever path you follow is what God has destined to follow. I would have had cause to do that if I'm not making success of my legal practice. But alhamdulillah, I don't think there's anything I would have done with football.
I ain't doing with law.
Are you getting now? It's fine. Maybe I might have derived more fame and satisfaction playing football, you know. At times, some of my kids, of course, knowing that I really play football, always wonder, why didn't I play to
continue up there?
The point is, now, Raymond, all my friends who play football are retired now.
Yeah.
So by now, would have maybe like 10 years ago or 15, I would have been retired.
Yes,
so I thank God that I follow this path. Whichever you play football, you can't play football forever.
Never.
You can't. So I thank God that even I follow that path to a level, and that is why I'm into for administration. Without that background,
that won't be.
Yes, that is it. So I just thank God for where I am now, and I believe I can always add my value to the game from another angle. Not necessarily on the top.
That's a good one. Talking about adding value, we go straight to the main topic, introduction, and Olubadan Stadium. I've been hearing that stadium. In fact, I've played there. For the records, I used to play football as well. I played IFA League, played for the games, played competition on that pitch. So when we returned on that day of that press conference, and I looked at it, this place, and I see the changes, I felt like, okay. I've been looking to talk about the history of Olubadan Stadium. This is the main topic. I want our listeners to know what Olubadan Stadium is, what it stands for, and the history that surrounds it.
Thank you very much, Raymond. You see, Ibadan is not the first for just in any other thing. You know, it's a city of warriors. And our founding fathers, has done well to do a lot of things. But when you talk about Olubadan Stadium is a product of the first indigenous football association in Nigeria, known as Ibadan Divisional Amateur Football Association, IDAFA. Yes, that association was founded not only by Ibadan natives. We had a lot of some colonial masters. You have Ijeshas, you have Igbos, you have Lagosians, Egba, people from all over. Ibadan was the center of things then, being the capital of the Western province. So they came together. A notable Ibadan indigene who was part of the founding team then was late Olubadan. Emmanuel Adeyemo was a notable member. And then they used to play just normal amateur football at the place where we have Olubadan now, without any strong construction. But as time goes on, of course, quite a number of them, they got Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the then Premier of the Western Nigeria in 1957, to be like a patron to them. Okay. And through that relationship, the then Western region granted the location where Olubadan is to the association. Just like they granted the land where Recreation Club is to where you have Ibadan Tennis Club, our neighbor. So it was given to the football enthusiasts, the football followers. Okay. And through selfless service of the members, they contributed money, materials. I have to mention late Mushola, who was the secretary then, and then you have the Abalara people, other people, and then our Chile Consalami. Those are even the younger members then. They all came in, and through various contributions, they were able to put up the stadium complex, the actual pitch, the way it is. And that was in 1957, and then they started a really well-structured league, the first in what I would call zonal native league. He used to play football then. They invite him from Port Harcourt, from Lagos, ECN and co, UAC to come and play. But then from 1957, IFA League started. It was that IDAFA that now manifested into what we now call Ibadan Football Association. So of course, after independence, some of this, we have, for example, now the father-in-law of Mrs. Folarunsho Alakija, late Chief Kojo Alakija, was a former chairman of the association. He's not an Ibadan one. Several past chairmen are not even from Ibadan. But of course, at the end of the day, all of them went back home. The remaining active members were the Ibadan natives, and the owners fell on them to keep the flag flying.
Okay.
And that has been, and then we have Shibli Konsalami, Aba Akinade, late Busa Alarakwe, of course, in recent times, Alhaji Akintayo, who came in, Dr. Salami came in briefly, and before he came to this, my own young man generation. So even at any point in time, you found some known Ibadan natives as member of the association. But because the stadium is located in Ibadan, so we have taken it as part of our heritage. We have Ibadanized, because that's the only way the place can be preserved.
Definitely.
And then we have been doing it, but really it's not as if it was an Ibadan agenda.
Okay.
But it is an Ibadan thing. Everybody has gone back to their state or their town, and the onus is on us, the recipient of the goodwill, to keep the flag flying and making sure that we sustain the heritage. Known as Olubadan Stadium.
From Idafa, metamorphose to Ifa. Yes. Olubadan Stadium. Let me look at how iconic. I mean, because 1957 way down here, it's been a long time, definitely. Yes. Looking at Olubadan Stadium, how iconic, and I want to see, some kind of games, apart from the IFA League or other friendly matches that have actually been held on that stadium. Possibly, maybe Shooting Stars have come on board, or maybe, iconic games on that stadium.
That stadium has hosted a lot of big games. Even in the 60s, we had about 2 teams. I think Nottingham Forest came from England to play a friendly match against the Ibadan Lions then. The Olubadan Stadium was functioning before Liberty Stadium.
Before Liberty Stadium?
Yes, it came into a system before Liberty Stadium. So we have 2 teams who came in. I think I'm not too sure. I think QPR too came. They played a friendly match.
On that stadium?
Yes, you are talking about the head of this Teslim Balogun. Yes, I wasn't alive. But by virtue of this, my office, I've been privileged to relate with elderly people who are like Chief Onigbide, who had, good experience. Onigbide will tell you what used to happen then. Even some other people too. If you read the book of late Shibli Salami, 5 Decades of Football, you see all these things there. Yes. So Olubadan Stadium is something that anybody who has passion for, it's not business. It's not about politics. It's about football
alone.
So everything that happened in that stadium from the
onset,
and to football, is like it has now become like a township stadium. You go to England, you see a lot of stadiums. It's not how to turn every stadium into sport arena.
Definitely,
everything is football. Now, over the years, there are 3 major competitions that IFA, Ibadan Football Association, is renowned for, and that they have been sponsoring. Of course, the first of it is the IFA League, and then you have the Olubadan Cup. Olubadan Cup has been held for 46 years. Of course, there has been a break, for the past 6 years or 7 before we came in last year, and now we resuscitated it, just like IFA League 2 was rested, and we have resuscitated it. So IFA League, Olubadan Cup, and Shibli Konsalami Cup are the 3 traditional competitions known to IFA. At times they might end up posting some competition in honor of some people. Like now we've introduced a new competition as under 15 competition to encourage the younger ones. We played it last year. 3SC lost in the final to a team from even outside Ibadan, our local government, and they won. So those are the 3 traditional teams. But Olubadan Stadium is actually about football.
Football.
Yes, because just like Ibadan Tennis Club is about
tennis,
and Olubadan Stadium is about football.
It's just basically
football. Football. That place was given to the Ibadan Football Association by the then Western Region for the football enthusiasts to promote the game of football at the grassroots level. And without telling you, the number of players that have
passed
yes,
through, played on
that have
that.
been produced by that pitch.
Maybe we have to go to some of these players.
Yes, a number of them who will tell you that their first touch
Was on that pitch.
was on that pitch.
I remember speaking with Coach Nia Conde,
Yes.
and said some of these things. I think the day was it 3 years now. The day before 3 years he became there, I think they had the match there. I think against Nugu Rangers. It was one of his books. I mean, that's when I began to have a kind of feel about what Olubado Stadium, because like I said, growing up, been there a whole lot of times, and it seems like an historical stadium.
It is. It is not like it is an historical stadium that we just have to make sure that we keep for generations coming after us to meet and to sustain too.
Okay, we just have to keep for generations coming after us so that it can. And looking at the plan of Olubado Stadium in the development of grassroots, I think this is where we want to know some of these players that have passed through Olubado Stadium, and of course, possibly done the national team colors, become professional players. I think looking at the importance of Olubado Stadium in the development of grassroots football, especially in Oyo State.
Well, I know most of my listeners, except the old ones, might not know some of these names I've mentioned, but I'll brief through before I go to the more recent history.
Okay.
First, Thunder Balogun was a product of that pitch. All this Dejo Fayemi, Baba Suara of blessed memory, started Chief Nia Conde, Jose Lad, Fọlọ́run Shaw, Gambus, quite a number of those old, even Chief Segun Odegbami, he's a product of that pitch. Coach Dauda Ladepo, Dauda Adepoju, a lot of them were product of that pitch. Sam Ojebode, Kunle Awesu, a lot of them started from that pitch, and they ended up playing for the national team. And more recent years, you talk about Mutiu Adepoju, Dimeji Lawa, you talk about even Edith Agoye. We played, a lot of these Ibadan Grammar School people came in, and not even when you talk about, even look at my junior brother, my very good brother, Kokoro. He's a product of that pitch, Opabumi, a lot of them, Even these other younger ones now, their name might not really come to my mind who are playing. I mean, they started from that pitch, and they cannot forget the impact or the contribution of Olubado to their career, wherever it is now.
They can't just forget the contribution of Olubado anywhere they are. It shows how iconic this pitch can be, talking about the Olubado Stadium itself. I mean, what a pitch. Far back as 1957. You heard that here. And down the lane, this is 2020, and Olubado Stadium is definitely still going strong, if not stronger. Of course, it's still Sport Drill on Pensioners 106.7 FM, the voice of liberation. And this is 12:30. And of course, quickly we'll go on a quick break. And when we're back, we'll be going to Olubado Cup, and of course the IFA League itself, the history behind these two competitions, what next for them, and of course going to a new season. All of this will break down when we come back from this short break. And of course, I will open the phone line, take your messages, and of course your contribution. It's still Sport Drill, and I still have Ibadan Football Association Chairman Barrister Oluwo Timiale right here in the studios of Pensioners 106.7 FM. We'll be back. Stay tuned, don't go nowhere.
The rebound. Walker gets it. 3-pointer from Kemba Walker.
You've
heard the fans.
Frank Lampard, Andre Iniesta, and Zinedine Zidane. I choose Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, and John Mikelou.
You felt the tussle.
Yes, he went to La Liga where he flourished more. I said he racked up more goals and assists.
Now, it's about to turn into a war.
It's a one league team. What about one team league? One team league. Just Bayern Munich and others.
Concerning the start of that penalty.
It's the first ever sports tussle competition in your state. 16 tusslers, one winner. Starting 6th September to 27th of December 2020. First prize 20,000 naira. Second prize 15,000 naira. Third prize 10,000 naira. Fourth prize 5,000 naira. Every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Host Raymond Tolulope, the Sports Illuminator.
For further inquiries, sponsorship and advert placement, contact Pensioners FM on 0906 286 4317, 0906 286 4317, or the Sports Illuminator on 0902 672 1042, 0902 672 1042.
It's the first ever sports tussle competition.
Pensioners FM. This is Africa's model.
Of course, welcome back from that quick break. And of course, the battle is still on for the first ever sports tussle competition right here on Pensioners 106.7 FM. And like you have, 16 tusslers, definitely one winner. It's been fantastic so far since September 6th. It will run down to December 27th. First prize 20,000 naira, second prize 15,000 naira, third prize 10,000 naira, fourth prize 5,000 naira. The very first football debate you will ever listen on any radio station in your state. Happen every Sunday 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Of course, if you want to be part of this support, partnership or sponsorship or advert, you can get across to me 090-2672-1042, 090-2672-1042. Just a dial away from me. Okay, let's welcome back to Sport Drills. Before I go there, this is an information from the Ministry of Youth and Sports for your state as part of the activities lined up for Nigeria's 68th Independence Anniversary right in your state. The following programs have been scheduled yesterday as a Jumat service held in Central Mosque Ojaoba. Came up yesterday, and of course on Sunday there will be a Thanksgiving service to commemorate this year's independent anniversary in your state at the Cathedral St. Peter's Aremo Ibadan by 10 a.m. Also, there will be an essay writing and quiz competition for both primary and secondary school students from all zones in your state. And on Wednesday, 38th September, the finals will be held at the conference room, Ministry of Education, Secretariat Agodi Ibadan by 9 a.m. And meanwhile, the grand finale of the event marking Nigeria's 68th anniversary come up on Thursday, the 1st of October, with the Independence Walk at 8 a.m. On Thursday, winners of both the essay writing and quiz competition will go on with cash prizes, laptops, and also have the privilege to have dinner with His Excellency, Executive Governor of your state, Engineer Seyi Makinde. So based on for Nigeria's first 68th anniversary. It has started from yesterday and will run down till Thursday, 1st of October. And of course, a lot right there. Also today, the cycling competition will be going down today. Ashiwaju Niwa cycling racing event is organized by Boyle Future Cycling Club in conjunction with Oyo State Sport Council and of course Oyo State cycling coaches. Going down today. It is the 4th edition set up and has been tagged discovering of new talent. The event will feature both the team and the road races with distances of 15 kilometers, 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers to be covered. And so jail for that. That one goes down today and tomorrow right there in Ibadan. Premier Hotel, the team will be going down, while tomorrow at LA individual races will be going down.
3 and he knocks one down as well.
You know, when it comes to grassroots, you can always count on us here. Count on Sport Drill. We got you covered. Okay, bringing back my guest, the IFA German and barrister Rotimi Ali. Welcome back on board, sir.
Thank you, Raymond.
Okay, quickly, let's go to the Olubadan Cup and of course the IFA League itself. The beginning, I mean, when Olubadan Stadium came on board, IFA League started last year as well.
Yes, of course, IFA League started.
Immediately.
IFA League has even existed before
Olubadan Stadium.
Before you have, yes, we have it in form it is now. When it was just maybe a mere playing ground.
Okay.
But not in an organized form as it is today or as we met it. But from 1957, you have a well-structured league and the force of it in Nigeria. You know, that is why we had teams like ECN coming in from Lagos to participate, teams from Port Harcourt. Monday Clear and Co. were product of IFA League. You know, all of those people, Paul meeting used to come play in the IFA League those days. So it's a big competition. And that's why since I got elected, you know, IFA chairman is not an appointment, it's by election in line with NFF statutes. Since I got elected last year, the first thing I did was to resuscitate it. And you know, I myself participated in IFA League several times. I never remember the league finishing. It's never ends.
I used to. Let me buttress that. I was a year of playing IFA League, and I was asking, what is the purpose of this IFA League? Because I would just hear, we are now in number 6, so tomorrow we are number 7. Are we gaining promotion? Are we demoting? When are we finishing this? It looks like forever.
Forever. You know?
We just keep playing. We don't even know what value is bringing.
You know, it's our perception and it's about the focus. You know, being a product of the league myself and whatever, these are things I first put right. One, we have just one pitch. You cannot play Division 1, Division 2 on the same pitch, and that's why the pitch was permanently brown.
It became sand.
Yes. So immediately we got elected. The first thing I did, of course, we worked on the pitch. We worked on the watering system. You know, installing about 20 watering points. We purchased sprinkler. You know, we employed a grassman, and we had a good pitch. And we narrowed down our events that come. This idea of Division 2 cannot work, so we knock it off. Don't forget that before I came in, the league has been off for like 8 years. Nothing was happening there. So we registered 20 teams. Even a team from outside about Shaki United participated, and they came third in the league. And using our own personal contact, we got fund. For the first time, I created what they call seasonal tickets. And we sold. We made like 1.5 million for it. That should have people who are ready to watch football. So if you say people don't want to pay for football, it's about how you go about it. Yes. This is nothing that Damascus, but this is not liberty. In Olubadan Stadium, people bought seasonal tickets. And so I was able to fix with cash reward for members, and we calculated the number of matches. We knew we were going to play 190 matches, and we played all the 190 matches. And we were not playing on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Those are the days for the pitch to be worked on, to rest and repair. So we were playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a maximum of 2 matches per day. And we played all the 190. We didn't hold the referee station. We were even paying them in advance. We are paying the officials like 30 matches in advance. So because we have a bill. And before we kick the first ball, I made sure I work on the budget. The fund for everything was on grant. So we didn't go outside our budget. So to start, you know, it has never happened before. Nobody has ever been rewarded. So we said the winner for this league going with 200,000 naira. The second place going with 150. The third place 100, and we paid all the money immediately. And we had other individual prices. So The same thing is going to happen this year. So now, instead of having the divisions, what we have done, that the 4 teams that were dedicated from last season will now be joined by 4 teams that are picked from the clubs who intend to join the IFA League. They will now play what we call Super 8.
Right, okay.
So that Super 8, the best 4 will now emerge. Those will now be the promoted teams. They now join the surviving 60 teams that will play IFA League for the next season. By now, we have been rounding up IFA League, even not for the COVID. So we can't play IFA League now. So that's why we are going into the Olubadan Cup, the Super 8, and then we kickstart IFA League season. We start next for the league.
Okay, good one there. I must commend you. But then looking at it, IFA League, no promotion.
IFA League.
Let me put it this way. Apart from the prize money,
yes,
the top 3 or the top 4, is there anything, an upgrade?
No, IFA League is a sooner competition. There is nowhere they will be promoted to. If the purpose of IFA League is to encourage, like you said, players at the grassroots. Like, I must commend the 3SC general manager and the entire management crew and the coaching crew for their cooperation. Of course, 3SC have always participated in IFA League. In those days, they play with their main team, and then at the point they were using their feeders team. And then now you don't have a feeders team. But 3SC will tell you that playing IFA League really benefited them. They were much like towards last season, now their aborted season. IFA League was their main preparation process, because they had good competition from local teams. When an average team plays against 3SC, we put more than its best. Yes. Instead of spending money to organize friendly matches, they were playing. Even at the time, the GM would tell me, lawyer, chairman, please give me 2 matches. I want to play, because at times they have outstanding matches. They were playing and they felt competition. 3SC did not, as the time the league was suspended, they won all their matches. Are you guys saying now? So it's beneficial to them. And they are not the only one playing the league. Pace setters are there. They are playing in NNO. It's Wole and Ibadan team. And they were even liaising with us to use Olubadan as their yes, before the sorry, before the COVID came in. And now we have a dressing room at Olubadan, which was not there before. So we are working on other things to make it meet the standard. So it's not about promoting, it's about the benefits.
There was a reason I asked. When I was playing, there was always news flying around. When you play IFA League, yes, maybe you get the first 2. There is somewhere you get promoted to, So I have always held that thing on, but then league didn't get to finish. So we don't even know where are we going. So I don't. When people hear IFA League, when you hear a league, you feel like maybe there is somewhere they are getting promoted to. That's why I want people listening to understand the fact that the league is just inner. Not that so that they won't think if you get your first now, maybe you go to NLO. No. So I want them to really understand.
One of the let me give you an example now. Winners Chapel now as a team in Ibadan, they participated. Okay. And they were before the COVID. They were because they did well. The management, I don't know whether the word to use now. Let me say the management of the team. They were impressed with whatever they set out to achieve. Apparently they achieved it. They were looking to buy a slot in NNO.
Okay.
Are you getting me now? That could have been an added
advantage
to Ibadan.
Because they use that as their own.
Playing the team, a lot of players from these grounds got signed. Stationary stores signed some players. Sunshine signed. MFM. Even 3SC signed like 2 or 3 players last season from the team. So it's opportunity to expose. A lot of scouts come in to watch this league every day, and they pick players. So we are exposing our players. Okay, look at this league now. We have 20 teams. Each team is registering 30 players. All the teams that were dead got resuscitated because IFA League came on board.
Definitely.
Zatec came back. Crane came back. Frink came back. Naut came back. You have the immigration teams. These are teams that were long dead. All this it's like creating opportunities. And they were paying allowances and substitution for these players. So to me, it's not everything doesn't have to end on the table of the governor or the sports commissioner.
Definitely.
That is why IFA League was funded by our fathers. That is the purpose. You don't have to take everything to the government. So creating that is an avenue for the young ones. A lot of players were taken off the streets.
Definitely.
No, if you go to Ibadan, a lot of people have been calling me now, but when are you starting? Even apart from footballers, a lot of old people.
They want to watch.
They come around from to
watch that.
Yes.
Local football, our own indigenous players
to play, because they know the first match starts. You see some people they come there, even they will observe their solar. Some people from Ogunpa, from whatever, they come around, just stay and spend their entire day. It's not everybody that will go to drinking joints.
No.
Some people enjoy that.
Definitely.
I know that
sport is part of recreation on the part and of course business on the other part.
And if you have a young player now living in maybe Kudeti, they are still all his neighbors, his friends will come. Want to come and watch Kaduru. You see them with their friends, everything. I see people. I know. At times I just thank God when I see people during the league coming with even their kids and their wives. Some come with their girlfriend. In a relaxed atmosphere. And I must have to appreciate the area commander Agonko. Anytime, although we had very little ugly incident, but anytime we have something close to that, we call them. They will quickly send in security men to assist us. So we have just created a platform to socialize for the people in Ibadan and for the young ones to explore their inborn football talent in order to grow. That is what IFA is all about.
Fantastic. IFA League is back. If you want to be part of this, definitely the studio lines are officially open. 09081111067, 09081111067, or 08080101067, 08080101067. We know, contact sports have not been approved by the federation for now. But then, how soon is IFA League going to come on board? If today, contact sport, they say, okay, we can go ahead for football and that.
Well, we initially thought that maybe August, the government will say, okay, go ahead. We were looking at start playing the IFA League this year. But that didn't happen. Now, looking at the time we had now in the year, we just thought that once we practical about it, Olubadan Cup is a knockout competition, which we take all like 2 months, It's an open tournament. A lot of teams can come from anywhere. Clubs are interested in indicating interest from Osun, from Ogun. So you can ask up to like 60 teams. It's not a limited bracketing. So that might take like 2 months to play. So we'll be taking us to December. Nothing that whatever preparation for the IFA League, we just start next year. And then we hand it up like that. So what we are doing now, we go to the pitch is ready. Like I said, we now have a brand new Fibra goalpost. The goalpost that was there before I was born.
I know that goalpost.
Yes. Polagi, the 3 years ago keeper, used to tell me, chairman, just any combat Larry no post. So even the GL was telling me some other coaches. So during this period, we made use of opportunity to procure a more recent one, so which we are going to store by next week. And then some other things. We are developing a 5-a-side pitch, which we hope to finish soon. So that will even encourage recreational football.
Definitely.
Not only active, but people can come around in the evening,
enjoy
themselves. So these are things we are, but everything we are doing is around football.
Definitely.
Because that is purpose for the
main
place.
purpose.
It's not our basketball, hockey, or it's not our business. It is Ibadan football association. So that is what we are trying to do this year.
I think it's time to get my boot back.
Of course, Raymond, you are welcome now. We can start with the knock around, 5-a-side knock around.
I still have it.
Yes.
09081111067 and 08080101067. Our time is fast spent. We have less than 5 minutes before we go away. Quickly, let's go to the Olubadan Cup. Quickly, let's talk around it. The beginning of Olubadan Cup, where it all started and where we are today. Talking about Olubadan Cup.
Well, Olubadan Cup, like I said, has been in the system for over 50 years, and they have played about 46 edition. Of course, like I said, it has not been held in some recent years. So it's always played on knockout basis. So it's no respecter of any big name.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of teams registration have started. Teams have been coming in, mass to register, and the cash reward for this year competition is 200,000 for the winner, while the first runners up going with 100,000, and the second runners up will be rewarded with 50,000. The registration fee for the non-league teams is 10,000 naira. For teams who are playing in the Premier League, NLL, we have given them that white card to register free. Yeah.
So prepare for a good one coming up in your state. If you think IFA League is still what you think it is, don't have it at the back of your mind, but you might be missing out. It is beyond what you think now. As everything has been put into place to make sure that IFA League and every other competition right there on Olubadan Stadium gets better. Maybe you need to do a visit, a pay visit to that stadium to see.
That's pass.
Great. Not call it a revolution now after right there. You can always trust it. You know, if you are doing well, we will tell you. If you do badly, we will still tell you. And definitely, I tell you that great things are happening. I've been there, I've seen it. Great things are happening right there at Olubadan Stadium.
Snaps the rebound. Walker gets it. 3-pointer from Kemba Walker. Time is up for the United States.
090-81-11-1067 and 080-8010-1067. Maybe you have one or two questions for my guest, the IFA chairman, Barrister Roti Miali. Or you have one or two contributions. Definitely, once again, 090-81-11-1067 or 080-8010-1067. Now, before we go, the Oyo State government, IFA League, is there any relationship between both?
No, IFA League is purely.
Or let me say, Olubadan IFA Football Association League, and everything that surrounds IFA League and Oyo State government. Is there any relationship between them?
Well, officially there is no. IFA League is, like I said, it's just a football association. IFA, just like you have about a tennis club and you have a recreation club. But the point is, any association is subject to the law and the government of the states. So we always appreciate the interest at least the governor is showing development of sports. I have to commend our governor Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde. And now I'm talking as a football enthusiast, a sports lover and follower and administrator. Other Masigba have been abandoned for years. Just look at the massive work he's doing there. I guess him now. So, and I know he has shown intentions even to come to our own head to assist us because the work at Olubadan, of course, we can only be better and we appreciate that. And we commend the sports commissioner. Of course, he's not as if you have it, but from observing him from afar, I've seen him as a very focused young man who is organized and he has a clear picture of what he wants to do and he's going about it calmly and peacefully. So you don't have to be an ex-footballer or anything to do it. He's a very focused young man. So I think the government, this era has been very wonderful to sports. 3SA has never had it this good. I'm close to them. I can say that. I know that they're having the best of time under this administration. So I'm with you as a sector in that place. Believe we can contribute, and that's why we are contributing our end. We cannot, and that is why my source of fund have been the private, in the individuals, corporate bodies, and all of us cannot keep writing to the government. Say, come and give us money. That is why I'm lucky. I mean, being a lawyer and being corporate, I'm able to tap into the contact, and that is why we are getting the fund to do some of these things we are doing too. So I commend our governor, and I commend the whole setup of the sport administration for the wonderful job they are doing, including the sports council, the GM and the chairman. I mean, for the wonderful job they are doing. I believe God will reward all of us all. Yes.
Amen. Of course, I've been signal. I have to say my BY. A lovely ride with Barrister Roti Miali talking about the history of Olubadan Stadium, of course, the IFA League and of the Olubadan Cup.
In it goes. Well done.
Of course, like I used to tell you not to get worried if it comes to grassroots. We got you covered there, and everything that is going to happen on that pitch.
So throw it down.
Definitely, we get to hear everything right here on this dial. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Raymond, it has been my pleasure being here. I have had a wonderful time with you.
How will you rate personal session?
I think, I wasn't expecting what I saw. Honestly, you have a very wonderful studio here, and the working environment is very, very wonderful. you can only get, better. You are doing wonderfully well. You are doing wonderfully well.
Okay,
and
thank
I
you.
wish you happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much once again for coming aboard. And hopefully next time we need you in the studio.
I will gladly come. I will, Raymond. I will.
Thank you so much. Alright, that is the size of the package this afternoon on Pensioners 106.7 FM. I hope you've enjoyed every bit of today's episode of Sports Drill. Many thanks to my producer, Babatunde Tiamiyu. And of course, my DC on duty, Abiola Idris. I used to say, sport is live, always endeavor to exercise your heart. I remain a Raymond to look what the sport illuminator. Tomorrow on Sports Tuesday is going to be a very fantastic and of course unbelievable edition tomorrow on Sports Tuesday by 3 p.m. Keep it locked down. This time, join me by that time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy celebration to Pensioners 106.7 FM. Good afternoon.
He's got it. Aguero's made the run. Here's De Bruyne. And Manchester City